So if you can't manage your own time, how can you expect others to manage theirs? So this short video is not just for business owners, but it applies to anybody really. But when you're running a business, for it to run optimally, the people who run it really need to have a life outside of it. So one of my top tips to start with will be to make sure that you actually take time off. Get plenty of exercise, spend time with friends and family, get away from the office, and you'll probably find that your productivity will skyrocket and your focus will be all the sharper for it. So just going to run through some top tips aside from that. So firstly, track and limit how much time you're spending on tasks. So you might think you're pretty good at gauging how much time you're spending on various tasks, but research does suggest that 17% of people can accurately estimate the passage of time and the rest can't. So write down all of your tasks, categorize them, urgent and important, so these are the things that need doing that make a big difference. Important but not urgent, so these are things that do need to be done because they make a difference, but they're not necessarily time pressing. And everything else that needs to be done is in another list, and really it's that other list that you delegate out. Make sure that you're really spending your time on the things that matter and make the difference. Delegate everything else out. Top tip 2, make sure you take regular breaks, and it might sound counterintuitive, but taking scheduled breaks can help improve concentration. Research has shown that taking short breaks during long tasks can help to maintain a constant level of performance, whilst working a task without breaks tends to lead to a steady decline in performance. Top tip 3, set self-imposed deadlines. So whilst we usually think of stress as a bad thing, a manageable level of self-imposed stress can actually be quite helpful in terms of giving us focus and helping us meet our goals. So for open-ended tasks or projects, try giving yourself a deadline and then stick to it. You might be quite surprised at how you can discover to be really quite focused and productive when you're watching the clock. Top tip 4, follow the 2-minute rule. So an entrepreneur that I know, Steve Alensky, recommends implementing the 2-minute rule to make the most of small windows of time that you have at work. So the idea is basically this: if you see a task or an action that you know can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. According to Alensky, completing the task right away actually takes less time than having to go back to it and do it later. Top tip 5, just say no to meetings. So meetings are one of the biggest time sucks around, yet somehow we continue to unquestionably book them, attend them, and inevitably complain about them. The average office worker spends about 31 hours each month in unproductive meetings. So before you book your next meeting, ask yourself whether you can accomplish the same goals or tasks via email, phone, or even a web-based meeting. Top tip 6, hold standing meetings. So if you absolutely must have a meeting, there is evidence to suggest that standing meetings, so this is literally as it sounds, everybody stands up when they attend the meeting. So evidence suggests that standing meetings can result in increased engagement, decreased territoriality, and improved group performance. So for those times when meetings are unavoidable, you might want to check out how creating a standing meeting might well get the task done and the meeting done quicker. Top tip 7, quit multitasking. So whilst we tend to think of our ability to multitask as an important skill for increasing efficiency, the opposite may in fact actually be true. Research suggests from psychologists that attempting to do several tasks at once can result in lost time and productivity. So instead, make a habit of committing to a single task before moving on to the next project. Top tip 8, take advantage of your commute. So this goes for any unexpected bonus time, not just necessarily commuting time, but instead of candy crushing or Facebooking, use that time to pound out some emails, create your daily to-do list, or just do some brainstorming. Top tip 9, give up on the illusion of perfection. It's common for entrepreneurs to get hung up on attempting to perfect a task, and the reality is nothing is ever perfect. Rather than wasting time chasing after this illusion, bang out your task to the best of your ability and move on. It's better to complete the task and move it off your plate if it needs to be. You can always come back and adjust or improve it later. Top tip 10, take exercise breaks. So using work time to exercise may actually help improve productivity. And according to a study published in the Journal of Occupational Environmental Medicine, it's possible to try and build in set times during the week for taking a walk or going to the gym. Just getting blood pumping can be just what is needed to clear your head and get your focus back. Top tip 11, be proactive, not reactive. So allowing incoming phone calls and emails to dictate how you will spend your day will mean you do a great job of putting out fires, but that may be all that you get accomplished. So set a time aside for responding to emails. Don't let them determine what your day is going to look like, and have a plan of attack at the start of each day and then do your best to stick to it. Top tip 12, turn off notifications. So nobody can be expected to resist the allure of an email, voicemail or text notification, but during work hours, turn off your notifications and instead build time into your schedule to check email and messages. This is all about being proactive rather than reactive. Top tip 13, work in 90-minute intervals. So work in intervals of no more than 90 minutes. It's proven that 90 minutes are a productive window. You also tend to find that top performing subjects tend to work no more than 4.5 hours per day. Top tip 14, give yourself something nice to look at. And this might sound unlikely, but some research shows outfitting an office with aesthetically pleasing elements like plants can increase productivity by up to 15%. So jazz up your office space with pictures, flowers, or anything else that might put a smile on your face. Top tip 15, minimise interruptions to the best of your ability. So having a colleague pop his or her head into your office to chat may seem innocuous, but even brief interruptions appear to produce a change in work pattern and corresponding drop in productivity. So trying to minimise interruptions may mean setting office hours, keeping your doors closed, or working from home for time-sensitive projects.